In today's video, we are recapping Godzilla Minus One, a Japanese movie that received worldwide attention. With an impressive rating of 8.3 and an Oscar for its visual effects, this movie is a true masterpiece. Godzilla Minus One offers a modern take on a classic kaiju tale set in war-torn Japan, presenting a breathtaking spectacle. If you want to know more about this movie, stay tuned and watch our full recap. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. In the final days of World War II on Odo Island, a plane driven by a kamikaze pilot, Koichi, landed there. He tells him to repair his aircraft as it has some malfunctions. But after a thorough checkup, they find nothing. Tachibana, a naval air cop, tells about that, and Koichi gets upset by the news and leaves the place. While sitting by the shore, he notices dead fish floating on the sea. At night, while wandering around, he hears an emergency alarm. At that time, Godzilla comes to their camp out of nowhere. Seeing this horrifying creature, everyone gets terrified, and they start running. Some people hide from the Godzilla. Koichi and Tachibana are also hiding. Here, Tachibana tells Koichi to kill Godzilla with his 20mm gun, which can kill anything. Koichi then goes to his plane to shoot the Godzilla. But as it was coming near him, his hands froze out of fear, and he couldn't shoot at all. So other people shoot the Godzilla, which angers it, and it attacks them, killing so many people there. It also destroyed the plane of Koichi. While running away from there, he gets hurt and loses consciousness. When he wakes up, it is already morning. He sees piles of dead bodies lying on the ground. Tachibana, who was keeping all the corpses together, blamed Koichi for this mass killing as he didn't shoot Godzilla last night. Tachibana and Koichi, along with other soldiers, returned to the destroyed Tokyo in 1945 when World War II had almost ended. While returning home, Koichi sees the wreck of his home, but nobody is there. Sumiko, the neighbor, tells him that everyone died, as well as her children. In the market, people run after a thief who leaves her child to Koichi. Later, the thief, Noriko, returns to take back her child but goes along with Koichi as she has nowhere to go. Besides, it is not her child either. A dying mother begged her to take care of her baby, Akiko, during the air raid. They started living together in Koichi's almost smashed house. In March 1946, Koichi finds a government job at the sea. During the war, countries fell mines on the sea. They had to remove those mines from the sea. Even though it is a hazardous job, it pays well and they can afford food for Akiko. Noriko forbids him from going, but he says not to worry as they'll provide a particular boat to evade the mines. But the boat is both ancient and has no modern equipment. The US and the Imperial Navies laid off almost 60,000 mines off Japan's coasts. So many dangerous mines in the sea can blast if they collide with metal boats, so having a wooden boat is their best option. Here, he meets Noda, who made naval war weapons before, and boat captains Akitsu and Mizushima. The mines rise from the seabed like balloons on strings. Between their two boats, there's a cable with a cutter. They must cut the mine wire, which will float on the water. They have to shoot it to burst. Koichi does the job very quickly and becomes the pro of this group. At night, Koichi dreams about Godzilla killing many people, which wakes him up. Noriko and Koichi's time is going well as they slowly improve their lives. When they finally renovate their home, Koichi invites his co-workers for dinner, where they learn that Koichi, Noriko, and Akiko are not related. They're just related by fate. In March 1947, Noriko gets a job at Ginza, but Koichi dislikes the idea that Akiko would be alone. Besides, he gives her enough money, so why does she need a job? Noriko wants to be independent so that she can live separately. Otherwise, Koichi will never be able to get married. Besides, Sumiko will take care of Akiko, so there's nothing to worry about. At that time, people started to learn about the dreadful sea creature Godzilla, which was staying in the deep sea on Japan's coast. In May 1947, near Ogasawara Island, the boat team saw a destroyed US warship floating on the sea. Koichi understands that it is the work of Godzilla, as he also notices dead fish floating just like Odo Island's shore. Even though they don't believe the fact, as they thought it was the work of the Americans, when Koichi describes their situation on Odo Island, they understand it. Koichi sees more dead fish here in the sea than on Odo Island. They started to go fast as the Godzilla suddenly showed some body parts over the water and started following them. They throw some mines on the sea to kill the Godzilla. Even though the mine burst, not a single scratch happened to that monster. Koichi starts shooting at it continuously, but is utterly ineffective to that mighty giant. Then, they throw a mine into Godzilla's mouth again, and Koichi shoots at it repeatedly, making the mine burst. Part of Godzilla's mouth gets injured, but it heals automatically, making the monster unbeatable as nothing happens to it, no matter how dangerous the weapon is. Then it gets up to attack them, but at that time, the Japanese army ship arrives and starts firing at the Godzilla. But the monster goes under the sea and comes near the ship to damage the vessel badly. But they still kept firing at him, which made it more provoked and released an atomic heat ray attack towards all of them, destroying the army ship. On the other hand, Koichi hits his head from the attack, which makes him unconscious. He wakes up in a hospital where he learns from his fellow workers that nothing happened to the Godzilla, and it is headed to Tokyo now. Besides, the Japanese government needs to give more information about this creature. Instead, they are hiding it from the public. In Koichi's home, he shares his guilt with Noriko. He tells her that he didn't do his duty as a kamikaze pilot because he was afraid. He landed on the Odo Island to show others that his plane was faulty, but it wasn't. Besides, when Godzilla came, he couldn't even shoot, which led to the killing of many people on that island. He thinks he should be dead. He doesn't deserve to be alive. In the sea, people in a Japanese ship again see the monster, and nothing happens to it when the bombs burst when it collides with it. They tell their authority about it. At home, while playing with Akiko, Koichi again hears the emergency alarm while the radio broadcasts that Godzilla has come ashore near Ginza. People in that area should be careful. At that time, Noriko is going to work by train there. She sees that creature destroying everything in the city and approaching the train. As it approaches the train, it grabs it with its mouth, making it wrecked. Noriko falls into the water and saves herself. That sea creature is smashing all the buildings into the wreckage and killing people continuously. At that time, Koichi comes to save Noriko. The army tanks shoot the monster continuously, but they are nothing before this powerful monster. All these attacks make Godzilla angry, and it starts to radiate blue rays from its back, and all of a sudden, it exhales atomic heat rays. This has come against the people at full speed, destroying the roads and the people, and Noriko saves Koichi from this unfortunate event. Almost 30,000 people were killed, and 20,000 buildings were smashed to the ground by this awful living being. As Koichi sees no one around and a complete disaster, he starts crying for Noriko, thinking she's dead, and he plans to take his revenge on this creature. Koichi even holds a funeral for Noriko at his home, where all his co-workers come. There, Noda tells Koichi that they've created a strategy to defeat the Godzilla, which the private citizens will lead. He asks Koichi if he's going to take part in this. Everyone joins a meeting where many ex-Navy personnel are also there to make this mission successful. Noda, who planned the whole thing, tells the present people that this creature cannot be killed with conventional firearms as it can quickly heal itself. So they come up with a new plan. Noda plans to entrap Godzilla and sink it into the ocean floor. The Sagami Trench is the deepest place where he intends to strap a Freon cylinder to Godzilla and let it foam. Then, they'll create a bubble membrane which will sink so rapidly that the pressure will crush it. They will kill the sea monster with the power of the sea, and they have named it Operation Wada Tsumi. So, the main plan is for 2 ships to corral Godzilla and wrap it in a cable. The cable will have a Freon gas cylinder attached to it. The gas cylinder will be released as the Godzilla would be tied. They even have a plan B if it doesn't work. There is an inflatable levitation device which is used in Navy aircraft. Carbon dioxide is shot into the air for buoyancy, and when the Godzilla hits, it'll be on the surface. If it can bear the pressure, it will contend with massive decompression. Hearing everything, some people left and some stayed behind to complete the mission. Koichi asks for a fighter plan to take his revenge in his way. Even though this can anger the creature, Noda still finds a local fighter, Shinden, but they need a mechanic to make the plane worthy to go against the Godzilla. As Koichi knows someone like that, he goes to find Tachibana. He finds Tachibana in a very tricky way, but first, he refuses to work. But Koichi convinces him to do that work for him, as the war isn't over for any of them. They finally start preparing for their mission and calculate the timing when Godzilla will come towards them. As it will come near them tomorrow, everyone leaves to spend the night with their family. In the garage, as the plane is ready, Tachibana shows Koichi how to handle it. Koichi is determined to kill Godzilla so that she can give Akiko a faultless, bright future. He even left some money and a letter for Sumiko, so that she could look after Akiko. Finally, the D-Day has come. The The soldiers notice so many dead fish floating on the sea, so they immediately tell the authorities that Godzilla is coming. It has been sighted at Sagami Bay, and they have activated their underwater guidance decoy. They announced it to everyone, and everyone hurriedly prepared for the ultimate battle. At that time, they see from afar that Godzilla is coming to them, and it is announced in the mic that it has crossed the final defense line. Koichi starts his plane and goes for the mission while thinking about Noriko, who saved him from this monster. As it isn't going according to the plan, Koichi will lure the Godzilla to the targeted area with his plane. As Godzilla goes to where most residents live, Koichui lures him, making him come to a particular place to trap him. Everything is ready to capture the giant. As they angered the Godzilla, it started throwing heat rays toward them, but they don't stop. All the ships also go towards it and start throwing cannonballs, cylinders, and levitation switches into the water. As they trap the Godzilla on every side, they finally hit the button that sunk it. They even applied the Plan B, but they are failing. At that time, Mizushima came with other ships to help them in this worse situation. All the vessels start pulling the leading boat, which controls the creature, and finally, it rises from the water. Angry Godzilla starts radiating blue rays from its body, making everyone terrified about what is going to happen now. But at that time, Koichi comes towards the creature with his plane and goes straight to the mouth of Godzilla.